But it'd be very interesting to see how it happens from the mortal's perspective, from just the guy on the ground. One guy's there like, hey man, just got some herpes, so decided to, praise Nurgle. And of course, the other guy's like, oh, really? Cool. Well, I just killed my neighbor. So I'm all about corn, apparently. And then, of course, the third guy's going to be like, well, I shall tell you a riddle 3, and if you answer correctly, I shall give you a book. Hello, everybody. Glass Half Dead here, and we're talking about Warcry again, because as I'm sure you have all seen, because there's been so much damn news. There's Adepticon is on, and so much news. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to cover all of the news. I do recommend that you check out other channels that have. There's great things not only for Age of Sigmar, but for Fire Slayers, Slanesh. They've got a lot of stuff going on, and not just their models, like their units, but those endless spells look amazing. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Warcry because there's no kill team news, and I'm kind of psyched for Warcry. So I'm going to read what they say, but let's just quickly jump right to the final thing they say, because obviously the last video I made was all about how Warcry is chaos only. They've changed that a little bit. They've changed that. So, as we can see for the small image on the screen that I will hopefully have zoomed in for you, we see it's not just chaos, is it? No, it's not. In fact, if we have ourselves a little look, it seems like around the outside here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 chaos factions. We're pretty sure those are chaos factions. That's nice and easy to figure out. But then we have 8 other factions. Now, obviously, we haven't actually been told what any of these factions are. However, I think it's pretty safe to guess at what some of them may be. This here is the classic sigmar. They're Sigmarines, Stormcast, that's the actual name for them. That makes sense. I'm down for that. Great. Okay, this here, I'll be honest, I saw it and I had originally thought, that and thought, oh, Nagash. But actually, it looks a little bit more like a Dryad. So it's quite possible we're going to get Sylvaneth here, which I believe if we take everything into account, this probably is an order faction as opposed to a destruction or chaos. This is Ironjaws, that's nice and easy. This is Gloomspite Gits, again, nice and easy. That, to me, I don't know about you guys, but that's vampire counts. Now, I clearly have not kept up with my Age of Sigmar lore if I think that is vampire counts, because that they don't exist anymore, do they? One of the, I think it's this here, is Deepkin. Is that Daughters of Cain? As you can tell, we're really getting to the limit of my Age of Sigmar knowledge here. My lore knowledge and just gameplay knowledge of it isn't super, because it's not fantasy. It's not Warhammer Fantasy. If it was that, I'd have been like, I've told you everything you need to know. My very, very quick thoughts before I start going through the rest of this press release is I actually would have preferred Seraphon. However, without Seraphon, my faction of choice would be either Sylvaneth or Ironjaws. I think Ironjaws look awesome. That's the only reason I think they look awesome. Yeah. And I would actually love an excuse to collect them as an army. And it's pretty obvious that soon they're going to get their battle tome redone so that they get a terrain piece as well. That seems to be Games Workshop's thing at the moment. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens here with Warcry. Yes, excited. Okay, let's do this properly now. Okay, Warcry. The time has come to shed more light on the dark world of Warcry with our first proper look at one of the game's many warbands, Let's check it out.
Our home is a mountain of metal and flame. Upon an altar of fire, we birth the weapons of the Ever-Chosen. We create war!
Okay, interesting. Interesting. The Iron Golems. Now, again, as you may have just realized as I was going over the other factions that one can be in Age of Sigmar, in Warcry, my lore knowledge is not top tier. Unlike 40k, where I'm pretty solid. Age of Sigmar, my natural assumption of these guys is that they create war, they like iron, I would assume corn. Also, they're red. I'm leaning towards corn. These models, I'm just going to throw this out quickly. If we look at this guy here, bring him up. Now, I haven't double checked to confirm this, but interesting note. If we look at this model and we then go back to the trader that we just saw, this exact model had a different second hand. He had a flail, a whip. This does imply that these kits are not going to be single build, whatever, easy build. They're going to be multi-kits. So that's very interesting. Which does again lead us towards a bit more of a, this is going to be Necromunda and Mordheim, not Kill Team. That's pretty cool. I like that. I want that. I want to be able to properly customize my warband. Also, this shield looks awesome. I like it. Oh, I'm not going to collect this faction. There you go. I'm just going to say it. Regardless of what the other factions are or look like. And I like these guys in general, you know, big weapons, shields, very highly impractical armor. I'm just going to say that. However, I cannot stand their helmets. They're just bad. They look stupid. They are idiots. So anyway, it's a miss for me for the Iron Golems, but that's fine. You can't hit them all. I am, however, very excited to see what comes next. So these guys are a miss for me, but let's keep reading. Like all Warcry warbands, the Iron Golems offer a more complex, nuanced take on Chaos than we've seen before. The Iron Golem miniatures combine classic Chaos aesthetics with cultural cues based on the mortal realm from which they originate. Hailing from the realm of metal, these warriors are renowned for the quality of their smithing, believing themselves chosen by Archaon himself to forge arms and armor for the slaves to darkness. Okay, that's cool. So, firstly, this does imply that the Slaves to Darkness army might be able to take these guys as an expansion to that army, which is cool. So there's going to be some cross play there potentially. What else do we feel about this? Yeah, so the helmets again, they're very reminiscent of Nurgle. Like if you ignore the red, if you ignore the color scheme, there's not actually anything particularly cornate on them. I mean, okay, they've got spiky bits. That's kind of corn-like. I'll give you that. They're not like super corn-like. And then the heads aren't corny at all. They're more, I would say, Nurgle. So it's possible that when they say, where is it up here? A more complex, nuanced take on chaos than we've seen before, they do mean that we might actually see warbands where you have both. You know, they could have 3 guys with an allegiance to Khorne, 3 guys with an allegiance to Nurgle. That would be very interesting because we have never before seen Chaos Gods working together to that level, to that extent. Obviously, the Chaos Gods do ally at times to take on a 3rd or 4th Chaos God. Obviously, they're dicks that way. Or, you know, if there is a greater threat, then they will ally together to kill that greater threat. But then they kill each other. But it'd be very interesting to see how it happens from the mortal's perspective, from just the guy on the ground. You know, one guy's there like, hey man, just got some herpes, so decided to, you know, praise Nurgle. And of course the other guy's like, oh, really? Cool. Well, I just killed my neighbor. So I'm all about corn, apparently. And then, of course, the third guy's going to be like, ah, well, I shall tell you a riddle 3, and if you answer correctly, I shall give you a book. I'll work on that. You know, it would just be interesting to see how mortals actually... Is that a thing that the Chaos Gods allow? Can we do that? That sounds cool to me. I'd be well up for that. Let's keep going. Warcry offers us the opportunity to explore chaos not just as the bad guys, but as living, breathing cultures, and allow us to look at facets or faucets of a chaos rarely seen on the tabletop. The Iron Golems, for example, count not just humans among the number, but Dwarden and Ogres. Let's take a look. This does nothing for me. Like, yeah, this model is a miss. Don't get me wrong, it's a short human, I guess, and they've decided to make the beard out of these things, which is nice. This model, I'm a big fan of. I can work with that. Clearly, you know, he got a bit handsy at some point, so they cut those off and replaced him with a giant metal spike and a giant hammer. It's a meat tenderizer, actually. That would be very inefficient for hammering nails or some such. So, you know, great. Awesome. Okay, I'll play him. I won't play him. I don't care what his stats are. However, I've already pointed out that I'm not going to play this faction. So it doesn't it's all hypothetical at this point. I'm just saying they've brought back a Chaos Dwarf and they've made him not good. Warcry will also let you explore the terrifying fauna of chaos, just as Griffhounds and Aetherwings show the sorts of creatures that dwell in Azir. Warcry reveals an assortment of chaos critters, including new plastic furies and raptorixes. Great names. Ill-tempered creatures capable of bisecting a man with the snap of their beaks. Okay, this is the fury. Good stuff. Okay. Yes. It's not doing anything for me. But it's got a beard. It's a flying man goat. It's fine. It's fine, I guess. Anyway, I am, however, very excited for the fact that these exist, and perhaps it does mean that we will get some proper PvE elements in the games. Maybe, pure speculation of course, it will be possible for a single player to play against the environment, or to have 2 warbands, you know, trying to get a bounty on the local, or, you know, collect the meat of the local fauna, who might be played by a third party. Almost like a GM. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. That's probably not what these are about, but I'm enjoying speculating about a game that I know nothing about before it comes out and dashes all of my hopes. So this is the Raptorix. It's a bird. I mean, you know, anything with the word raptor in is a bird. Looks like a mean bird. I'll give it that. And then that little frill thing at the beginning there is kind of reminiscent to the corn hounds, but also that is just reminiscent of a frill that a dinosaur would have. So it's a raptor, part lizard, part bird. Raptor. I have nothing else to add to that, do I? And then they keep going. And we're just getting started. We've got more warbands and models to reveal to you. Now, it won't let me increase the size of these pictures, which is super. We see here. So obviously, this one is highlighted. We've now seen the Ironmongers. Great. And we clearly have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other Chaos factions, giving us a total of 6 Chaos factions. And then, now that I've gone through all of this, hopefully this final picture makes a little bit more sense. 6 Chaos factions, and then presumably we're getting 8 of the others. Let's keep reading though. But what if you're unshakably loyal to Sigmar, Nagash, or the sheer raw power of destruction? Well, good news. At launch, 9 non-chaos factions will be available to play with rules of their own. See if you can guess just what they are. Now that's very interesting. So we see here there are 4 and 4. Now I'm no mathematician, but that is not 9. So there is another faction unannounced, even unteased. I like that. Now that's some Games Workshop clickbait, sir. Now, if we go back to what I said at the beginning, when I had first seen this, I had assumed Legions of Nagash. But then, maybe it's not Seraphon, Sylvaneth. So if that is Sylvaneth, because it looks kind of like a Dryad's face, if that is Sylvaneth, then that means that the 9th is just Nagash, which is fine, boring, whatever. However, if that is Nagash, then it means we have no idea what the 9th faction might be. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, the very final line. For Chaos fans and their foes alike, Warcry is shaping up to be an amazing game. Stay tuned for more news right here. And anyway, that's all I have to say. I would add more, but this has gone on for much longer than it probably should have because there's only like 100 words that I've read out to you. And yeah, I've kind of given you all of my thoughts as I've gone along. I'm excited because I genuinely want to start playing Age of Sigmar. And I want this funnel. I want a funnel to get me into the game to then let me go on and play more. Very similar to how Shadespire is, but that's even smaller. And I feel like this would be a touch more expansive. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. He is talking in the third person, and he is excited about Warcry and what it might bring, and more importantly, what it might mean for him going forwards into Age of Sigmar in a larger scale, because, very excitingly, and this is very much at the forefront of my mind at the moment, my local gaming store has started a slow grow league of Age of Sigmar. They're at 600 points at the moment, and I have yet to decide on an army. Thinking Beastclaw Raiders. I love Seraphon, but I also kind of want to play Orcs. Not sure. Need to make some purchases, need to make some decisions. Anyway, Glass Half Dead. Hoping you've all had a great day. I can't say have a great day again. Signing out? Yeah, okay.